What's cracking, guys? Welcome to Straight Outta Compin. I know this is a weird time for us to do this, and yeah, I know Pace has his elephant challenge going on right now, so I'm expecting that we've got some folks here, or that we're gonna have a lighter audience than normal. But you know what is really interesting about Straight Outta Compin, guys, is that so many of you guys need help with comping houses. You know, understanding value and deciding what your offer price is. And because this is only an hour-long show, we're going to implement something a little new today. So there is an opportunity for a super chat. If you guys don't know what a super chat is, that's where you get to tip Bobby and push your comp to the front of the line. We're just going to give it a shot. If you guys are like dying and desperate and need a comp and want to understand my thoughts on ARV and offer price, and you're like, I'm not waiting, I can't wait, I can't risk not getting this done, you can do a super chat. If not, otherwise, Bobby's going to go in a random order here, and we're going to go like that. Now, besides that, a couple of announcements for you guys. February 20th, I want everybody to mark February 20th on their calendars, because it's going to be the launch of our AI agent outreach CRM. Guys, this Astro Blaster is what we are calling it, is one of the most phenomenal, groundbreaking pieces of technology that has ever been unleashed in the world of real estate investing. And I'm really excited for you guys to all get an opportunity to see the power that we've been able to create with this tool. I have a student, Andy Wrong. He's the developer of this software. And you know, the guy's 15 years, he started astro flipping when he was 15 years old, so a high school student. And what's really interesting to note is that at 15, he's now 17 years old, but at 15 years old, he created a business in wholesale real estate where he routinely makes between $30,000 and $50,000 a month in high school, guys, in high school. And he uses this AI agent outreach technology to basically do all of the conversations and all of the heavy lifting for him while he's in class. And then in between class breaks, he just runs and goes to the restroom and responds to people. And he's making a ton of money doing it. He's making way more money than his teachers are who are teaching him. And I think that's super cool. So if you guys have an opportunity to join us for the launch of the Astro Blaster, set a reminder on your calendars. Bobby's going to put a link in the chat right now where you can set a reminder for the launch of the Astro Blaster on February 20th. Very excited. Next, real announcement is that Emily, our incredible co-host of Straight Outta Compin, is very likely in labor at the moment. And so we don't know quite yet if she is. She was going to be induced earlier today. And so, guys, I just wanted everybody who is a part of this family and who knows Emily to send her some prayers. Send prayers for a very easy delivery for her child, for her family, for their prosperity, for their health, and sending her as much positivity and love as we can possibly send her while she is going through this glorious moment of bringing new life into our world. Now, aside from that, where and what time and where? So it'll be at 1 p.m., I believe, 1 p.m. MST, which is Arizona time, 1 p.m. MST on February 20th. And you will be able to catch it all on my YouTube channel. So where you are watching this right now is where you will be able to see Emily give birth. No, sorry, the launch of Astro Blaster. Just see who caught that. Bobby didn't even catch that. I said that, and he didn't even flinch. I said, this is where you're gonna be able to watch Emily give birth, and he didn't even flinch. So I was like, Bobby, are you listening to me?
Never, boss.
I love you, bro. All right, let's get into it. Let's pull up the appraisal rules.
Shout out. Oh yeah, the appraisal rules.
Yeah. So shout out what?
I was gonna say shout out to Danny for being the first Super chat. $2, and he's
Danny. Yeah, Bobby. He wants you to take your bra off.
I'm downloading the super chat or the appraisal rules real quick, and I'll take my jacket off. It's strip.
Okay, Hot Bobby's gonna take his jacket off because it's hot.
All right, save and share screen. Here we go. Let's see. Present. Share screen.
Ryan Robin said, "I love it when people fuss at Bobby about the order, but he's gonna tip anyway." That is amazing, and Ryan, we appreciate it. It's so fun. All right, let's get to it, guys. No rev limits. Put just city and state, please, in the address. I do see that you did super chat us, so put the city and state in the address so that we can quickly get to it. But we see you, and you will be having your property comped. All right, let's get to it. So, appraisal rules. Want to pull them up, Bobs?
I am sharing it. Can you guys see?
We can see. All right. So the appraisal rules, and these are new for 2023. And why do they need to be new for 2023? Well, guys, it just so happens that the market has shifted, and we need to be able to address the market shift in our comps. So new for 2023, appraisers are no longer using comps older than 90 days. All right. So if they do have to use a comp older than 90 days, what they are doing is they are adjusting, depending on market, 10 to 20% down to accommodate the market correction. Okay, so keep that in mind. Either use a comp that is 90 days or less in age, or you're allowed to now actually go out beyond half a mile, even up to a mile. Appraisers are going out up to a mile now. They're leaving subdivisions as long as the subdivisions still compare with respect to build generation and property type and amenities and all those things. As long as those things are still relatively the same, appraisers will leave a subdivision and they'll go out up to a mile to get a comp that is at least 90 days old or newer. All right. So that's something to keep in mind. But beyond that, guys, the appraisal rules have not changed. We do want to try to compare houses that are within the same subdivision. We want to compare houses that are at least plus or minus 250 square feet of each other in terms of size. Okay. That means that if your subject property is 1,000 square feet, we can use a comp that's as small as 750 square feet or as large as 1,250 square feet to give us a range, a plus or minus range of 250 square feet. We can't go out beyond that. And the reason for it is the dollar per square foot changes dramatically once you leave that range of 250 square feet. Okay. So smaller houses will always have a higher dollar per square foot than a larger house. One of the most common mistakes I see new wholesalers make is they will have let's just say they've got a comp. Their subject property is 4,000 square feet and their comp is 1,000 square feet. Okay. And so they'll take the dollar per square foot for the 1,000 square foot house and they'll apply it to their 4,000 square foot subject property. And that just won't work. The dollar per square foot for a smaller house is always dramatically higher than a larger house. And so that is the reason why we do that. Next, you want to compare houses that are of the same property type. So a ranch to a ranch, a two-story to a two-story, a historic house to a historic house. Now, how do you know if you've left the subdivision? Primarily, we can tell if we've left the subdivision if we are crossing any major roads. Now, again, appraisers will only compare houses that are within the same build generation, meaning we need to compare houses that have years of construction that are within at least 5 to 10 years of construction. And the older homes, and we're talking like the late 1800s to the early 1900s, the build generation was a lot greater in time. So a house built in 1880 all the way up to like 1930, the technology that was used to build that house didn't really escalate between the late 1800s and the early 1900s. And so they will still use, even though there's like a 40-year gap or maybe a 50-year gap in construction, the technology is what is most important, right? So the appraisers are really paying attention to build generation more than they are paying attention to year built, but keep that in mind. Now, of course, it's very rare that you're going to have two houses that are exactly the same that you're comparing. And so you're going to need to make adjustments. Now, how do we make those adjustments? Well, a bedroom, a bathroom, a pool, a garage, and a carport each have their own values. Here we've given you what those values could be. And traffic and commercial affect property values as well. So if your subject property is under $500,000 and is backing, siding, or fronting any commercial or traffic or multifamily, you're going to make significant adjustments, either $10,000 to $20,000, depending on if you're siding, backing, or fronting traffic or commercial. And if you are above $500,000, that changes from $10,000 or $20,000 to 10 to 20%. And why is that? Well, guys, in the luxury space, which is typically $500K or above, which at the moment, it's like starter homes are $500,000. So I still don't understand how appraisers will dignify a house that's $500,000 as luxury. It doesn't make sense to me but it is what it is. They will make adjustments in the percentages. So if you're siding or backing or fronting traffic in a property value above $500K, make sure that you're adjusting 10%, 15%, or 20%, depending on if you're siding, backing, or fronting. And then lastly, guys, basements and guest house have a very, very interesting dollar per square foot value add. Very rarely do appraisers use the entirety of a square footage of a basement or a guest house. In fact, the majority of them will only give you at best 50% of value for the additional square feet. So keep that in mind. If you've got an 800 square foot basement that's fully developed, that has been completely remodeled, you're not going to get full value for that 800 square feet basement. The maximum that they'll give you is about 400 square feet of value. So keep that stuff in mind, guys. But let's just get to comping.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, Bobby, has anyone told you lately that you are appreciated and that the entire community thinks you're the bomb?
All these people leaving super chat. Some of you guys didn't even put an address in the super chat. So thank you. That's great. I got
guys, tips all go to Bobby or Bobby's dog, Trip.
My dog only has 3 legs, so he could use the extra.
Is Trip around here?
Trip, come here.
And guys, I just want to tell you that Straight Outta Compin is brought to you by Batch Leads. Batch Leads is the front runner when it comes to prop tech solutions, especially in the world of comping. I worked with Batch Leads to develop their comping tool, and I still believe, in my opinion, it's one of the best comping tools ever made. We love Batch, and if you guys have not started using Batch yet in your business, go to batchleads.io and learn about and download the Batch Leads software. It's amazing. I love Batch. I love Batch Leads, and you guys have probably heard of them over the last few years that we've known each other. So, all right.
Here we go.
Vicente. Oh, wait, what was that question?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, there was a good question, and it had to do with Batch. So let's get that back on the screen. On Batch Leads, sometimes there are 2 square foot numbers. I'm assuming the bigger square foot is with the attached garage included. How would you use the square foots when comping?
Great question, Vicente. The one I would always use is the tax record valuation for property square footage, and I'm not going to use the larger one. I'm going to use the smaller one, and the reason why is that typically, if you're looking at Batch Leads and they give you that larger square footage, it usually is including basement or garage conversion or a guest house. And so somebody has manually adjusted square footage. And so the reason why you're going to have 2 values is Batch is pulling from MLS data, and it's also pulling from tax record data. Tax record data is what an appraiser uses. An appraiser will not use MLS data because MLS data is stated. Typically, it comes from a homeowner. And so a homeowner might say, I have an 800 square foot garage that we've converted into living space. And then the agent just puts 800 additional square feet in the listing. And now all of a sudden, but nobody's measured that. Nobody's confirmed it. So appraisers will always use tax record square footage as opposed to manually inputted square footage valuations that are inputted by real estate agents. So great question. Use the smaller of the 2 Vicente. You use the smaller of the two values.
And here's something that didn't get updated that I meant to. I didn't update, but last time we talked about this. So
yes,
you're right.
Shouldn't
you're
a
right,
bedroom be
Anthony.
plus or minus 25K and a bathroom be plus or minus 10K? Yes, Anthony, thank you for bringing that up. Again, that was just Emily's pregnant brain not getting it right. But who cares? Because she's having a baby.
I got it. But by the next show, it'll be updated.
It'll be updated by the next show.
Yes. Okay. So since this is our first time doing this, and Danny was the first one to drop a super chat, let's go.
Let's get it, Danny.
Danny Fee, living in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Man, oh man, oh man! What a good day to be alive in Las Vegas, Nevada, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
You know why I say that?
No.
Because Vegas is cool. My wife was actually just in Vegas this morning. She had to go get some paperwork done today, and she flew in and flew back. And I was like, "Love, why are you here? You should just have stayed in Vegas and gambled." But she was like, "No, I want to see my hubby. I want to see my hubby." What's the address?
241 West Virginia, Overton, Nevada. So it's West Virginia Street, I think. And then Overton. Yeah.
West Virginia.
Right there. Yeah. That first one or the third one down. 241 W Virginia Avenue, Overton. It's popping up there. Now it's the first one.
My camera's in the way. Okay, we got a $230,000 3-bed, 2-bath, 1302 square footer in Overton, Nevada, listed at $230,000 as single family residence built in 1936, sitting on a half-acre lot. The listing shows that it's only been available 5 days, so it's a fresh listing, and it has 1,171 views, but only 20 saves. So what this tells me is the price point was interesting to potential viewers or potential eyeballs, but only 20 of those people thought that this house was priced right and saved it. And so immediately what I think, Danny, is that the house is overpriced at this price point because so few people saved it. But I'm just saying out loud what I would normally think when I'm comping houses. Now, this is a 3.2 1302 square footer. Any other details that we can find here? They bought it in 2020 at $150,000. Okay, that's something to think about as well. All right, let's take a look. Comping is one of my most favorite things to do, by the way, guys. And if you don't feel the same, then maybe you shouldn't be a real estate investor. Just kidding. But you really do need to get your comping dialed in, because this is comping good is the reason why I've been as successful as I've been in this business, because spotting value and understanding how much stuff is worth has allowed me to do more deals and gain more and see more opportunities than anything else. Okay, so right here I see this. Okay, we've got but it's from 21. Now, it does give us an idea though. A 3-bed, 1-bath, 1363 square footer sold from 21. Now, guys, most of 2022's gains have been erased in the market. So this 330 may not be out to lunch. Now, of course, it's larger than our subject house, right? What was our subject's size? Do you remember, Bob's?
No, I'm tracking addresses.
Okay, no problem. I'll pull that up. Our subject size was 1302. So very similar size, which is that's encouraging. The only thing that it looks like this house has above ours is a pool. So very similar in square footage. It does have some updates here. You can see they got granite countertops, an upgraded kitchen. They got laminate flooring through the home. I would still say that this house needs tremendous amount of cosmetic updating, but sold at 330, but it did have a pool. So if we took out the pool, which would be a $10,000 valuation, and we adjusted for square footage, that would get us somewhere along the lines of 300 grand. So right now I'm saying we are at the 300 mark on our subject. Let's see if we can get it anywhere higher. Now I'm looking for, guys, something above 300,000. Here is a sale from 2021. When was the year build of this? 1998. So too new too new for us to use. Let's just look back at this, at the year of construction of this guy too, because that's important for us to note. 52. Ooh. Okay, so ours is older than 52, I believe. Our subject is a 36. Now, the technology between 36 and 52, it actually it did increase. So a part of me would adjust even lower, that maybe get us to about a 280 ARV, just given that one comp. Now let's just see if there's anything else we can find here. That was the one we just saw. That's too large. This 318. Ooh, 336. From May, though. Let's see when the year build of this guy is. Ours was 1936. Remember, this is 97. Too new to use. So I think we can call it. I would say that the ARV of our subject is $280,000, and they're listed at 230. So they're listed way too high. So what should the ARV, or what should the buy price be on this one? If we set a 280 ARV in Vegas right now, or Overton, Nevada, I'm not quite sure where is Overton compared to Las Vegas. Let's take a look. Overton, Nevada, to LV or to Las Vegas distance. It's about an hour out of Vegas. So I'm going to say that it's not going to have the same metrics that you would use for Las Vegas. So I'm going to say it's about a 60%. You need to be at about 60% of ARV. So my offer number on this one would be around $165,000. I highly doubt that this seller, especially after listing at 230, actually 165 to 230 is not that bad. And we did see that they bought this house at what, 150 grand. So they still have an opportunity to make some money selling it to you in this condition. Because it's not terrible. I mean, it's dated, but it does have some updates. I would say offer about 165 on this and you'll be safe. Safe as a church mouse. On we go.
All right. So next up, we got no rev limits.
No rev limits. Oh.
This is in Seattle, Washington.
Okay. Let's use batch. See what we can find with that.
Yeah, and somebody asked in the chat why not showcase batch, and I was thinking I
just go back and forth. You know,
yeah.
I think it's important for you to use multiple tools when you're comping. So I'll use batch leads. Sometimes I'll use Zillow. I'll swap between the two of them just to double check, just to double make sure that I've got enough data points. Go ahead, Bobby. Tell me the address.
5455 30th Avenue Southwest, Seattle, Washington.
$54.55 30th Ave Southwest, Seattle, Washington. This listing canceled in August at $675, meaning that they weren't able to sell it. Batch's value estimate on it is $730,000. We've got a 1908 build, 1,240 square foot, 3-bed, 1-bath. House has no pool, no garage, sitting on a 5,750 square foot lot, built in 1906. All right, let's see what we got. So not a lot of data that I'm able to pull from batch, unfortunately, for this specific house. Oh, and actually not bad. Actually not bad at all. Let's see what batch pulled up for us over here. So here we got 1918 build. So same, you know, very similar build generation, 3-bed, 1-bath, but this is a 1720 square footer sold at $700K though, but this was in March. So this was right at the height of the market. So you'd still take down about, you know, 10% of that value, which would be 70,000. That gets you to about a 630 valuation, and this is still 500 square feet larger. So this doesn't help our value, you know, considering what we've got here or what our sellers are asking. Let's keep looking. That one is too large as well. Also too large. And also too large. Okay, so didn't get a ton from Batch on this one. So we're going to move over to Zillow to also determine. Now, looking at the photos of this house, you can see this house it's, you know, definitely dated, right? They've got some work they need to do based on those photos. 625 listing, and it still showed active on Zillow. So interestingly enough, Batch said it was not active, but it is still active. So that's good to know. It's a little bit old. $1240. That's right, $1240. So here we got a remodel comp for 1,000 square footer that only sold at 600. Let's see the year build of this. 81, so significantly newer. We can't use that. And so this, guys, this is telling us why this listing canceled, right? These sellers had this house listed so high for the year build, 1930 construction. I mean, they're not even in the realm of possibility in terms of value here. So I don't think we've got very realistic sellers here, but keep looking. 70 build, again, way different build generation. And this is where I think the agent is pulling their value from. So they're trying to use a 1970 build sale from August of 2022 to justify where their pricing is, right? And again, to me, this does not compare. I think you actually have an ARV just based off of what we've seen, based off of your build here. Let's just double check the year of construction here. And now we can see that we've got a little bit of an elevated elevation here, which is also something to take note of. Perfect. 1918 build, 1450 square footer, man. And this is remodeled. So this tells us 700 grand at 1450 square feet. So let's just do some adjusting, okay? Because we can use this one. 700,000 divided by 1450 square feet is actually, we got to make the adjustment for the market change first. So 700 minus 70 gives us 630,000 divided by 1450 square feet. Take that $434 per square foot, multiply that by our size, which was 1240. That gets you to about a 540, 550 ARV. These guys are expecting 675. I mean, they're way out to lunch. Way out to lunch. If I'm you on this one, I'd be offering about 65% of value on that. So honestly, this deal doesn't make sense much more than like 350, 375. So if your seller is not even close to that, keep moving, keep pushing.
Alrighty. We're moving on
to
next
the
one.
next one. On to the next one.
All right, this one, we got a $5 super chat from Cynthia.
What's up, Cynthia?
Fontenot. And her address is 7828 Sherman Drive in Houston. Sherman? Just Sherman, Sherman.
Okay, Sherman Drive.
In Houston, Texas.
In Houston, Texas. Houston, we have a problem. Ooh, 7828, you said?
Yep.
Okay, so Batch is not pulling that up. I'm wondering if that's because this property is commercial. But we're going to just check Zillow. Zillow won't give us value, guys, because no, it's not commercial. It is a house. Because this is in Houston, Texas, we're not going to be able to get data from Zillow on what houses have sold, because Texas is a non-disclosure state, meaning that people are not required to disclose how much they traded their real estate for when they sold it. So this is going to be a little bit trickier for us to determine value on. Looking at sales aren't going to help. So we're going to look at actives. Actually, we're going to look at actives. What does the neighborhood tell us houses are selling for on the active market? So 2,700 square feet. Yeesh. Small guy. There we go. So we have an active right now, not selling. 5 days listed at 120. An active at 265 days on market at 185. Tells us again that that price is way too high. Let's see what else we got here. This is new construction. Here's something to take note of, guys. 2-bed, 2-bath, new construction of 2023 is only selling for $260K. That means that our ARV for something this old is going to be dramatically lower than 260 or 250. So, you know, when you look at indicators like that, it tells us a little bit about where we should be priced, right? It tells us that, you know, would you choose a brand new home over a house built in, you know, the late 1900s? Of course you would. Of course you would. So given what I'm seeing here, and that 260 active, that is just a super, like, you know, thorn in the face type of listing to be available here. I think that your ARV on this house is about 200 grand. Okay. If your ARV is 200 grand, you're in Houston, Texas at that age of construction, I would probably be at about 60% of ARV. So I think that you can't pay anything anymore, maybe even less than 60%, maybe even like 50. I think you got to be at about 100 grand on your offer on this guy, about 100 grand. On we go.
On to the next. So we got Ryan Robin.
What's up, Ryan Robin?
113 Emerite Drive, Emerite Drive in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay. Which is a beautiful place, by the way. Pace and I just visited Louisiana. We got a 1966 build, 1613 square foot. This won't tell us the bed and bath here, unfortunately. So we've got size, but we don't have bed and bath. I'm going to assume at 1613 square feet that we got a 3-bed, 2-bath. But again, that's just an assumption. I'm not 100% sure on it. Okay, we got a sale from February of 2022 for a 60 build, 1,300 square footer. That was at 140. Okay, good to know. Let's keep looking. We've got a 1,700 square footer from 76. So still same build generation, sold in February at 180. So let's see what else we got here. Let's look at that high comp at 208. A 4-2 1815 square footer from 1958. So same build generation, sold at 206. So guys, you know, looking at this, let's make some adjustments. This is our high comp in the area. So this is the best that we've got, but we got to make a market adjustment here. So we're going to take 20K off this 206. That gets us to 186,000 divided by 1815 square feet is about $102 a square foot. Multiply that by our 1613 square footage of our house. That gets us to an ARV of somewhere around 165,000. Now, knowing Louisiana, knowing the year of construction, I'm going to say this is a full gut remodel. And I would say that you need to be at about 50% of ARV on that. So my offer would be no more than 80 to 85,000.
Another one bites the dust. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Next up, we got Carlos Herrera.
1212 Herrera. What's up, bro? Address?
1212 Omar Street in Dallas.
1212 is my birthday.
Sure is.
1212 Omar Street. 1950 build, 1134 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath. They listed it in December of 2022, sat on the market and expired at $125,000. Now let's just look at the information here on the listing just to see. We can't see how many times they price dropped or if they're what type of motivation are. Let's look at MLS listings. See here, original list price, only 57 days on market, and they never did a price reduction. So, you do not have a very motivated seller here. They're not interested in selling at anything less than, their $125,000 initial price. But that's not what this thing is worth. Here we got $100,000 sale from May of 2021 for a 68 build, 884 square footer. I think that gets you to about an ARV of about 120. Let's keep looking around the corner. None of these, by the way, do I believe are super valid. Ooh, though, this guy right here. Look at this one, Bobs. Dang, let's look at that. A 40 build, 1,088 square footer. Let's just make sure this is not sitting. It's sitting on a half acre of land. Okay, let's look at our subject. How much land does our subject have? Let me ask you, does it look weird when I just have to look around all the time and like quarter? So it's about a quarter acre lot. So I think that has some value on it. So actually, I do like that comp. Funny enough, I think that comp is actually viable for us to use because even though it's on a half acre, double the size of the lot, we can take off $10,000 in value for lot size and that price point. So that gets us down to about 290. Now we are how much larger? We are about 134 square feet larger than this sale, which is in our benefit. And year build, we are about 10 years newer. So again, I would say that knowing that and using that as this one as a comp, I would do the following adjustments. I would take 290, which was our adjusted for, once we took off the extra size. Now we're going to make an adjustment for the market conditions, which I'd say 10%. So I'm going to take another 30 off that. So that takes us to about 260. So now at about 260 ARV, what price do you need to buy this at? I'm going to say for Dallas, Texas, in a full gut remodel, I'm going to call it a 50%. So I would say that you don't want to be in contract on this thing any greater than 130,000. Now, they listed at 125. So I want you guys to understand something. Okay. They listed at 125, meaning buyers for 60 days went and looked at this house and it seems to be priced right, but they thought it needed way more work than what my MAO or what, any wholesaler MAO would say would be the right number to buy this at. So here would be my suggestion. Knowing that they expired at 125 grand. If I'm you, I'm offering 80,000 max, because a buyer's going to look at this and see that nobody bought it at 125, right? So that means that People probably offered 100, didn't get it. So if I'm you, I'm offering 80K on this one, and calling it a day. 80, 85 at the max, but I think 80 is the right number.
Feel good, Carlos? He said it was, Carlos says, yes, chasing expired listings. They had a problem with probate, and it was in probate, talking on doing this off market with agent. I don't know. I've been lost in the chat, but if that means anything. Okay, so we just did Carlos, and our last super chat for now is Slim Beats.
Okay, what's the address?
1925 Eloise Lane.
Hello?
I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Eloise. Eloise Lane in Edgewood, Maryland.
Edgewood.
Fabian, to answer your question, if you super chatted and it was blank, I didn't see address.
1925 Eloise Lane, Edgewood, Maryland. 1974 build, 1340 square foot. Given the size, I'd say maybe a 2 or 3 bed, 1 bath, sitting on a 1260 square foot lot, which doesn't make a lot of sense unless it's got a 2-story. Yep. 2-story on a 1/3 acre lot. Nice comps here from Batch on this guy. So let's see. So we got a sale from October of 2022 at 175 for a smaller property. Also built in the mid 70s, a 3-bed, 1 bath, smaller. So I can say we probably got a 3-1 as well. So that tells us that we are, and this is from October, so it's new-ish. I would still make a market correction adjustment for this, probably of about 5%. So I would take off, maybe $7,000. So I say you're like at about 167 based on that. But then also remember, we got to adjust for size because we are larger. So I still say 175, actually. We'll keep it at 175. Let's just 190. This is from March. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue at my 175 ARV. I think we're on the money right there, bro. 175 ARV. Now, if ARV is 175, what do you need to buy it at? Right? So if ARV is 175 and we are in Edgewood, Maryland, you're probably going to need to be at, and this being built in 1974, depending on its condition. If it's cosmetic, if this is a cosmetic remodel, I'd say you'd be at about 55%. So I'd be offering around 95 to 100. And if this is a full gut, I'd say you'd be at 45%, and I'd say you'd be at around 80,000. On we go.
Okay. That one was Slim Beats. We got Dylan up next. 1333 Brookside Drive, Hurst, Texas.
Spell the street name.
1333 Brookside, BROOK side, all one word, Drive, Hurst, Texas.
1333 Brookside Drive, Hurst, Texas, 1961 build, 2182 square footer, 3-bed, 2 bath. Let's look at the photos here. This looks like a remodeled house. Active since February of 2023 at 340K. Batch's value estimate on it is 414. Immediately out the gate, I'm going to say this is not a wholesale house. This is not a wholesale opportunity. This is a fully remodeled house. I would not be giving them a cash offer on this one. I would be trying to do something creative. So if they obviously haven't been able to sell since February, well, what did they say they listed it at? They just listed this thing. And they listed it at 340. That's probably ARV. So I would not be giving these guys a cash offer. I would be trying to buy this subject to, best case scenario is the subject to, but this isn't a wholesale deal. So, you know, don't insult the agent. Don't insult yourself and go and give these guys a cash offer on a fully remodeled house. This is not a wholesale opportunity. This could be a buy and hold opportunity for a creative deal. Now, if you want to still know what I think its value is, I'm happy to tell you that. So you've got a sale at 260. Dang. For a 1,700 square footer. Now you're much larger than that, but that does tell you that, you know, they are listed on the high side here. You got a 2,000 square footer that sold in March at 370 and you're at 340. So they've made an adjustment for the market. I think this house is listed at exactly ARV. This house is listed at exactly ARV, and it should be, because guess what it is? It's after repair. You know, it's not a wholesale deal. But its value is exactly what it's listed at. 340. On to the next.
On to the next. Faith has one. She super chatted early. I'd like to get to hers.
Okay.
But she needs to put it in the chat real quick right now. The unit number for my off-market property is 4322-4324, but there's no street or city. And Faith, it seems like you tried to put the address in before, but it didn't show up. And then No Rev Limits also has another super chat that he submitted, but the address didn't show up.
Okay.
So we got.
Hey guys, so I think maybe
left.
in the super chat they're kind of suppressing addresses. So if you super chatted and suppress your address, just do a regular comment with the address, and we'll make sure.
Yeah, I think YouTube is blocking addresses in general. So leave off the zip code on.
Just city. Just tell us city.
Yeah, city. Leave off the state and zip code. Let's see. Okay, let's go with Tyler Stowers for now. Tyler Stowers. I could pop this up on the screen.
Just tell it to me.
Yeah, 220 East Nichols, Nichols Avenue in Sacramento, California.
From Oakland to Sacktown. The Bay Area and back down.
Faith, I hear you. It's in there, but I'm not seeing it. So please, one more time.
.220 East Nicholas Avenue is not pulling up.
Nichols. Nichols.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up on Zillow and see what it has over there. Doesn't like the address, guys. Double check that address, bro. For whatever reason, it is not pulling up. I'm just checking Google. So is it maybe 4220 East Nichols Ave?
4220. Let's see. Let's scroll down. He put it in Yeah, he put it in 3 times. 220 East Nichols. Oh, there it is. There is a 4 in front of it. He fixed it. Yeah. 4220 East Nichols.
See how we're like sleuths here? 5-bed. I'm going to call it a 2-bath, 1248 square footer in Sacktown. Zestimate is $355,000. We have a 1938 multifamily. Okay, so this is very likely going to be a duplex. Small duplex, and they bought it at 380, or sorry, they tried to sell it in 2020, like COVID time, at 390, and then they just didn't sell it. And so let's see what we can find. That's our sub G. I'm actually, because we couldn't pull this up in batch, it's like, that's a single fam, so can't use it. Pow, pow. Another single fam. Another single. So this is like a multifamily in a world of single families, which is, you know, not super helpful, because it actually, you know, I'm almost wondering if this is actually a duplex. Because they're tagging it as multifamily, but I can't see how it is. So I'm gonna comp it as a single fam. Okay.
He says it's 3 houses.
Oh.
It's 3
Okay.
houses, 1 2 2 1. There's 1 2-bed, 1 bath, 1 2-bed, 1 bath, and 1 1-bed, 1 bath.
Okay.
I think I'm reading that right. I'm gonna put that up on the screen so you can read it. It's 3 houses. 1 2x1, 1 2x1, 1 1x1.
Yep.
So I should have wrote 2 2x1. Let's see.
Here's
And
a
it's all on
duplex.
one
Okay,
lot.
let's see what we got here for a duplex. Sold in January of 2023. So this is really current. And it's a 38 build, so also viable for us. Let's just tell us what this cost per unit is. This is actually a bomb comp. So 322,000 divided by 2 is about 161 per unit. Okay, so if you've got 2 2-1s, okay, I would say that you could also add on half of that for your 1-1. So let's call it another even 100,000 for your 1-1. It gets you to about 420 ARV. Now, if I'm in Sacramento, California, I'm going to be at about 65% of that. So if I'm you, I'm going to be offering these guys around 270. Now, was there a list price on this thing or what? No. 270 is where I would be offering though. And given this estimate here at 350, you might even be able to get them lower at like 250. So, you know, go see if you can get that done. But, you know, also see, they tried to sell this thing for so much money back then. Part of me tells me these guys aren't reasonable, but you never know. You know, circumstances and situations change, and they might just be open to it. And they couldn't sell it then, right? So go try 270. Go try 270. Yes, Michael Cellular, you do need batch leads if you're in a non-disclosure state. Absolutely. Batchleads.io/Jamil.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
ES joined batch and super chatted twice. So he just
boom.
jumped
Let's
up to
get
the
him.
top. So 1202 Sims Avenue,
Where is it?
San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas.
And we did start late, so there's 6 minutes left. We can squeeze in a couple.
1202 Sims Ave.
Yes, it's on the screen. I don't know if you can see.
I can't because I'm on another
got
screen.
you.
But
1202 SIMS Avenue, San Antonio, Texas.
there it is. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
1202 Sims Ave, San Antonio, Texas. We got a 1945 build, 1132 square footer, active since July of 2022. Man, people just don't give up. Listed at 110,000. Batch's value estimate on it is 144. This is a 3-bed, 1-bath, 1132 square footer from 1945, sitting on a 7,600 square foot lot.
And garage was turned into a 1-bed, 1-bath. I don't know if that was in there.
I did not see that.
So ES just commented that and said the garage was turned into a 1-bed, 1-bath with addition.
Okay.
And he says it's 1732 soft total.
Yeah, it's tough, right? So that additional square footage, it's tough to give it its value, but at most it's going to get, at most you're going to get half value for that additional square footage. But we do have a sale here at 208 from June. Let's see what else we can find. '42 build. Ooh. And this one looks renovated too, and it's sold at 320. I like that one, but we're gonna need to make some big adjustments on that because of the timing of its sale. And I don't see, here's a 313. Let's just look at this one. Also remodeled, 40 build. Ooh, this is also good. Sold at 315. Okay, so I mean, there could be some really good value here at that size, you know. But look, here's the part that you got to think about, right? Active at 110. Okay, so your ARV, let's just say your ARV is 300 on this thing. Okay, active at 110 tells you that the condition of this house is so poor that even though it's priced well, people have been passing on it. So here's what I would do if I was you. You have a listing price of 110,000, and I think that that's actually a good number, but it's stale now. It's sitting on the MLS. Nobody's buying it. So what do you offer? If I'm you, I'd be offering these guys 60,000 on this house and seeing if they were motivated enough to take it. But I absolutely think that at some point this thing is probably worth about 240, 250, maybe even a little bit more once you renovate it and sell it. It's actually pretty decent deal.
All right. That one we just did was ES. Okay. Let's move on to Faith. Faith Allen, her address
Hey, what's up, Faith?
What's up, Faith? 9700 Grand Sandestin Boulevard. And Faith, what city is it? I'm looking.
It's in Miramar Beach, Florida.
It's gotta be. Okay, cool.
9,700. Ooh, what's the unit number?
She did put that in there. What is it? 45. Sorry for the wait. Let's see. Come on, what's the unit? Faith, if you're here, put in the unit number. It's 45 something, I think, if I remember. Oh, it's 4322 and 4324.
And?
Yeah. The unit number for my off-market property is 4322/4324. The listing I posted is identical layout and the price my off-market seller wants for the condo. I am confused. I don't know, but it's an off-market. A realtor brought her. They're comping with this identical layout in same building, that kitchen and flooring renovated, and some other units sold September for $805K.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Zillow for this one because I got to get a little bit more granular on it. Okay. I mean, it's remodeled. It's got and her subject is 4002 4004.
Her 4322.
Okay.
And 4324 is the unit number. So I think it's one unit numbered 4322/4324. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you those again, Bobby, in a moment here.
Okay.
4322/4324.
And she asks, would a Zillow listing of an identical one help? Tough part about that one is we can't click on links that you guys put in the chat. So don't worry about that, Faith.
Man, some of these condos can be a little tough, especially when they've got like multiple unit numbers in this, like this one. Faith, can you tell me the bed bath count of your unit, please, and the size? Condos are really hard because floor makes a huge difference. View makes a huge difference. Like there's so many pieces in there that can affect value. You know, do you have an ocean view? Do you not have an ocean view? That can make a $200,000 or $100,000, $150,000 difference in value. And so you got to be really careful about this to make sure that the comp that we're using has the same view on the same floor. You know, all these things need to line up. Otherwise, you can't use the comp.
So what are you asking, Faith, for? The bed bath count?
Yeah, I wanted bed bath as well as size.
She says, sorry. They're a combo with lock-off option for rentals. Size, beds and bath, Faith. There we go. 3x3, 1770 square feet.
Okay. Okay, so this is our active 175 on the market, sitting at 650. And she said, how much is their seller asking?
I don't know if she said that. Let's see. She said that there's identical layout in the same building that renovated and sold September for $805K. So that would be ARV. So that's not what they're asking. Faith, what's your seller asking for?
You know, this is a really tough one, Faith, because we need to make sure that everything's lining up here. Because look, you got an active at 650. Okay, 1770, 3.3, just like yours. Your comp that you're pulling is an 800,000 plus comp, right? But now we got to understand, like, do you have ocean view? Are we talking apples to apples or not? And so it's real, Faith, this one is just really there's too many variables for value on this thing, just because I need to know floor, view, all of the things in order, because we got a range 650 to 800,000, right? So if I'm you, I'm going to see this 650 sitting here on the market 175 days, and I'm going to say this is overpriced, right? So for me, if I want to be comfortable on this, I'm going to be offering 500 grand.
She says it has a bay view and they're asking 650.
So this is the one then. This is the one. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got a bay view.
And if you super chatted and we didn't get to you, you'll get a refund.
You know how to do that, Bobby?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, make sure we don't take nobody's money. We ain't into that.
Oh, I lied. I Googled it. I don't know how to do it. And it says they're voluntary, non-refundable payments.
Well, just take their name down and
yeah, we can
make sure that we
or,
bump them to the top of the list next time so that they don't, we don't miss them. This specific property though, I don't like this one. And mainly being that 800 sale, I don't feel is going to give us apples to apples here. I think if this is the property that you have under consideration right now, I would personally say that you probably need to be at about a 550 offer on this thing, and they're asking 650.
Okay, can we squeeze one more in, or is
Of
it
course,
time?
man. I'm not
right.
tripping. Let's go.
Let's do Khalil Perry.
Khalil Perry.
12001 Captain Bailey's Court, Bailys. So Bayless Court. Yeah, Austin, Texas.
In Austin. Okay. So you got to move over to Bash. $12,001 Captain Bales Court, Austin, Texas, 1984, sorry, 1375 square footer. It's probably a 3-bed, 2-bath. It doesn't say here. Batch's value estimate on it is $480,000. They owe around $55,000, so good possible owner finance on this guy. No pool, built in 84, 9,700 square foot lot. See what it's worth. That's way too big. That's what she said. $500 square feet too large, so can't use that as well. Continue looking. So you got a pending right now at 370, which is not close to where we are numerically. Ooh, right here. I like this guy. 83 build, 442. Now, here's the piece, right? I think you got to remove all of that emotional equity that happened from this bid up between 375 to 442. So I'm going to say you got about I think you got about a 375 ARV. We're going to keep looking here to double check and make sure that we're not. Oh, there we go. 450. Hot mama. I think you can take 50 grand off of that, and you got almost an identical house here. So you're going to call it 400. Let's see what else we got. Dang, Jamil. Come on.
Don't forget to hit like on the video, guys. Without asking,
guys,
we got almost 60 likes, so thank you.
Yeah.
Run
Tell
it
Bobby
up.
you like him.
And I see, just so you know, Mary Jo, I got you written down here. If we don't get it today, we will next time. And then that
it's 400 ARV. Because you got a sale here from August. It's 400 ARV all day.
Cool.
Let's get hers. Let's get the final one there, bro.
All right, let's get Mary Jo. And then Keifel, you need to reach out to me on Instagram at Bobby Canode, and I'll get you dialed in. He super chatted twice, but no address. So we got Mary Jo. Mary Jo.
You know what? Bobby just text me. Get the hey, DM me or Bobby on IG, and I will personally comp it and send you the value.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, Keifel. I don't know if you're still here. You can hear that, but do that. Okay. Mary Jo says 2105 Stratford Way, Stratford, and it's in San Mateo, California.
canceled in October at 1.5 million. Batch's value estimate on it is 1.8 million. We got a 1949 build, 1890 square footer, 3-1. Man, some of these prices out there in the Bay Area are insanity, dude. It's like, how much money did you make, bro? You got a 2 million comp over here. From July, you got a 2.2, but I think that 1.8 is probably where it was. You got a pending. Ooh, I like the pendings, but it's much larger at 2.3. This is from October at 2.2. I think your ARV on this one is 2.1 million. 2.1 million. So if your ARV is 2.1 million, and we are in San Mateo, which is going to be about a 67%, you'd be offering these guys around 1.4. They listed at 1.58. So that's, that's why they're off right now, is they're a little bit high. I'd be going after this at about 1.4 million.
Boom. Dude, you knocked a lot out.
I tried. We're getting, super chatted and all the fun things. So guys, listen, we really appreciate everybody jumping in and participating and helping us create one of the best comping shows that exist. I don't think anybody else does this because people have a hard time comping. Even some of my best friends in the real estate industry still rely on me to help them understand and calculate value. I'm not going to name any names, but y'all know who all of them are. I'm just good at this. I'm good at running comps. And so I'm happy to continue doing this. We will be back here again very shortly. And Bobby, any words that you'd like to give our wonderful family here who tuned in?
Happy Valentine's Day. And the Keifel and what did I just put it in the chat? I put it in the chat. Keifel and Dylan, and DM me on Instagram at Bobby Canode, and we'll get you. I'll get it over to Jamil and get you a comp.
Yeah, I'll get you that number tonight. We're not going to make you wait. Thank you for being generous and kind, and I'm not gonna not hook you up. Cool.
And say goodbye to Trip.
Bye.
See you later.
Oh, three-legged doggy.
That was fun, guys.
See you,
really
bro.
stressed me out, and I appreciate you for it.
You're the best.
Later, guys.